Welcome back to Film Snob HQ. The road to Avengers Doomsday continues. We are now in the final 3 Fox movies. We have 2 more X-Men films to go, Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants. But before that, we have 1 more Fox film that we're going to talk about today. And then after these 3, Fox gets absorbed by Disney, and that's it. All the rights go back and we start seeing Fox characters or Fox-owned Marvel characters show up in the MCU proper. Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Wolverine, Professor X. We get a little snippet of the X-Men theme song, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But before we get to that, we need to talk about this film here, the long-awaited sequel to the surprise hit of 2016, Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 comes out in 2018 after Avengers Infinity War, and it's a really interesting flick because it is the second Marvel film of the year to have Josh Brolin appear as a potential villain. He played Thanos in Infinity War, then right after that he played Cable in this film. Now, if you're familiar with the comics at all, Cable is not a villain, but he is considered an antagonist for Deadpool in this film, at least to begin with, until his intentions are made clear and then they team up. This is quite a misunderstood film. It's not disliked per se, but I know a lot of people were disappointed with the decisions made in this film. First of all, to kill Vanessa off in the opening credits. People were really disappointed by that. But I get the feeling, based on the story they're trying to tell, the writers just didn't quite know what to do with her in this movie. And we'll see that happen again in Deadpool and Wolverine, but she is still around. And we do get some really lovely moments with her and Wade in the afterlife, as well as kind of early on in the film. So Deadpool is being recruited by the X-Men. Colossus, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are back, and they want to try and convert him to an X-Men. We're also introduced to Negasonic's girlfriend, Yukio, who's really fun. And basically they're trying to get him to join the X-Men, and their first task is to intervene where a young mutant is threatening to kill a bunch of humans, played by Julian Dennison, who you may have also seen from Hunt for the Wilder People. And he goes by the name Fire Fist. In the end, Deadpool makes a bad decision, kills a bunch of people, and both he and Fire Fist are incarcerated. They're arrested in a mutant prison, and all their powers are taken away using power dampening collars. And enter Cable. Cable's here from the future. He is trying to hunt down Fire Fist and kill him, because in the future Fire Fist kills his family, and Deadpool is trying to stop that from happening. He ends up assembling his own team, an X-Force, but that's a bit of a bait and switch. I'll leave it at that. If you haven't seen the film, it's a very, very funny sequence. And then the true antagonist of the film is revealed. It's not Fire Fist or Cable, but in fact Juggernaut shows up, also voiced by Ryan Reynolds. It's a bigger budget sequel, and I think that's where the film loses its way a little bit. They rely a lot more on CGI than they did the first time. But even still, it's a really fun flick. It's got a surprising amount of gooey heart in the center of it all. Like, it is very much a continuation of that love story and the idea of Wade's kind of desire to be part of a family. The opening sequence, all the fight scenes in the first 10 minutes of the film are incredibly choreographed. And there's just something really nice about the Deadpool suit. It just looks great. It is the one X film where they got the suit right, and it just, every single time it's on screen, it really pops, especially, against, these kind of blander looking characters. Not too much else to say about it. I like it. I still think I prefer the first one. I do like the dark tone of this one. I think the idea of attacking humans responsible for harming children is an area we haven't really explored in any of the superhero films. So having him protect human children or mutant children from regular humans, I think, is a really interesting take, and I like that it's a bit darker. Cable story, a lot darker as well. But then I do like, even though I quite like the humor in both the Deadpool films, I do feel like some of the jokes in this movie do go a little bit far. Like, not that I'm offended by it, but there are some jokes where I'm like, it's fine. Like, it just, I think they're like, sometimes they go for shock value for the sake of it. And if you're going to shock me, earn the shock, I would say. But it's definitely a worthy sequel. It's a worthy addition to the X franchise, and definitely one of the better Fox films as well. But that's it. Deadpool 2. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's definitely a lot of fun, and it builds the narrative and the world from the first one quite nicely and introduces more characters, which is really good as well. In terms of returning characters for Doomsday and Secret Wars, I don't know if anyone's going to come back from this film. I would like to see Josh Brolin as Cable, but I would prefer him as Thanos. So if he's only doing one role, Thanos is my choice, but I would like to see Cable return, especially because we're getting a lot of X-Men characters in Doomsday. Domino feels like she's been shelved, and I'm not quite sure why. I'd love to see Domino come back as well. And Yukio, if we're going to bring back Negasonic and Colossus, which I hope we do, bring back Yukio as well. She's quite sweet, and I like her character. Even though she doesn't do much, I just like kind of having her as a double act. She's almost like the Silent Bob to Negasonic's Jay. So yeah, go check out Deadpool 2. Those are the characters I think are returning. Next up is Ant-Man and the Wasp.